Happy freaking Monday, everybody. My morning ritual, getting a solid workout in, starting the day off right, then the rest follows suit. Second off today, we're staying busy. We're gonna be doing some Jeep maintenance. We are currently in Bennington, Vermont, but we got about an hour to go to get to Hinsdale, New Hampshire. Heading back across the Connecticut River to meet up with Jason. Jeep in the driveway, and there's Jason. Hey man. Good to see you, man.
How's it going?
Good.
How you doing?
We met Jason at the New Hampshire Jade Jamboree and he offered to maybe take us out fly fishing, and also if we need to work on Jade, that we could have a place to work on her. Well, we're working on Jade. What's the story behind your YJ?
Well, I got it from a buddy of mine for 500 bucks who's trying to get it out of the yard.
There you go.
I sold all the parts off of it, so I was in it for 200 bucks. So with all my parts and stuff I had to buy, it's about a $1,000 Jeep for me.
Yeah.
It's quite a steal.
Yeah. And you've been slowly going over everything, right?
Oh yeah. Pretty much everything, because it's New England and everything rots out. But
yeah, that's what I've been hearing. It's like Wisconsin, they use salt on the roads, so anything older, you know, the frames on these old Jeeps, they rot out. But this one's in pretty good shape though, frame-wise and everything.
yeah, well, I had to go and weld the whole back part of the frame on, so that's all done by me.
Oh yeah, you
That
can
was
see the
gone.
patchwork there, yeah.
There was no saving it, so I couldn't find anyone that sold them around the area, so I made my own and pretty much welded the rest of it back together.
Looks pretty clean now.
Yeah, it's got the drop down tailgate. I had to buy a CJ kit, but I didn't get a CJ tailgate because I felt like I was doing a disservice putting jerry cans in front of the Jeep emblem.
Oh yeah.
So I just used the YJ tailgate instead of buying the CJ one.
Jason unfortunately wasn't able to bring this Jeep to the meetup because, what was it, the night before?
It was the night before I drove it, had it all buttoned up, and I got up the next morning and I had not only a fuel leak, but the usual tap the starter trick stopped working.
Yeah.
So not only could I not start it, but I could smell the fuel pump and I was like, yeah, no, jump in my truck.
This rear drive shaft is 3 inches longer than as well?
3.5 inches longer.
Okay.
I moved everything 3 inches back, but I figured with the lift there was already an extra, you know, however much is on the end of that drive shaft. So I just added an extra ½ inch and it seems to be working out pretty good. I haven't had any problems with it.
Depending on how the Jeep repairs go, we want to get out today. It is Labor Day. We want to take the Jeeps out, hit the trails. So we'll see how it goes. Debating if I want to wash this section off right here. You know, I got some of Maine on here, some of New Hampshire. There's memories on here, okay? I don't want to wash them off. While I was changing the oil and greasing Jade up, Ben was looking over all the nuts and bolts, making sure everything was tight, and he actually found 4 body mounts that were loose. Tighten those up. Over the last 2.5 years of living in Jade, I've basically had to rebuild her. She's an old Jeep. But getting to know your vehicle, being able to work on it yourself is super vital doing this, you know, kind of lifestyle. Especially driving an older vehicle, but just living on the road in general, you need to be independent. You need to know how to work on it. I've been super blessed to have places to work on Jade, but if I need to, I have no problem working in a parking lot. You guys have seen me stay overnight at AutoZone one time. Next month I'll have owned Jade for 6 years, and I know quite a bit about her, but there's always something to be learned, and there's also better practices to be practice, yeah. Kind of just a good rule of thumb to once in a while check over everything. You know, for us, I'm putting a lot of miles on Jade. A lot of it's off-road, a lot of wear and tear on all the suspension components and everything, really in general, as you can see with the body mounts. As a good general practice, whenever I do oil changes, it's a perfect opportunity to grease everything, keeping the space factor in mind. Tiny little grease gun, and then these, these baby little marine off-road grease tubes. It's gonna help with the water. And it all fits in my handy dandy and my can. prior experience in the Air Force, 6 years as an aircraft mechanic. Something they instilled in me is to just literally touch everything, because you can't just tell from looks if something is loose, you know? So put your hands on everything, all the nuts and bolts, check everything underneath, and so just as good practice. Take care of your Jeep, she'll take care of you. All that being said, now for today's main event. We got pinion seal leaking right there at the Jade Jamboree, New Hampshire. Someone noticed it, pointed it out to me, and sure enough, yep, pinion seal's leaking pretty bad. Oh yeah, look at that.
It might have slid out.
Yeah, that's where my vibration's coming from too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You found it.
I found it.
And that's probably what shot that seal. That vibration rattling around that seal will make it leak.
Just in the last few days I started to notice vibration anything over about 50 miles an hour. So I haven't gone much over that. And yeah, sure enough. Alright, well, I'm gonna start pulling this off, then we're gonna run to the store.
Somebody else on YouTube can do it, so can you.
Yeah. All I did was watch another YouTube video. It's just, I mean, what else do you do nowadays? Just ran to an auto parts store. Luckily they're open on Labor Day. Old seal, new seal. This one's only dented and dinged up because that's what happened when I extracted it. A lot of different ways you can get this out. I just did whatever means necessary. And I didn't care if it was getting destroyed because we got a new one. Jason's Jeep is not starting. He was able to fix a gas leak he had earlier. One of the rubber hoses, the elbow, had just corroded. Rubber gaskets and hoses, they wear out over time, so it was all corroded and stuff. But now it's not starting, so I happen to have a spare ignition coil in my recovery spare ammo can box. He's gonna try this out. Hopefully this helps. He's gone through everything else, spark, fuel pumps, you can hear priming and things like that, so this might do the trick. Hopefully it does. So this is that spare coil. If it works, man, it is yours. I hope it works.
Yeah, me too.
Alright, she's plugged in. Gosh, fingers. Hopefully she starts. Dang. Well.
Yeah, it's definitely a Jeep thing.
Oh man, it's not the ignition coil, yeah. Yep. Well, it's definitely worth a try, but more investigating must be done. Time to throw in the seal.
That should clamp on your U-joint a lot better.
Oh yeah, that gap there, that's creating that space.
Not only that, you're wearing a little bit on the inside too, so if you flip it around, you're going to get more clamping pressure on it.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we got fluid.
Yeah, you're full. Like I said, you only drizzled out a little tiny bit.
Sweet. Well, at least we didn't run her dry. That's the important thing. But the drive shaft's back on, the U-joint's tight, the pinion seal is replaced, and the only thing that didn't go well is that your Jeep's not running. You can see no more wiggle room in here. It's on there nice and snug. We used a digital caliper to measure the distance on both sides of this U-joint to get as even as possible. We were within 0.06 of an inch, so it's, man, it's so much better than it was. I think we're good. Ready for a test drive. That seal before, so good learning experience. All in a day's work. Brand new Jeep, good as new. Annie! Jade's fixed, Annie! Jade is fixed! Ah, I'm so excited! And obviously you're excited. All better, man.
Nice.
Go great.
always good when you get something fixed, for sure.
Oh, yeah. So we were able to fix Jade, but I think next time we should do some fly fishing.
Yeah, definitely.
Jeeps take up a lot of time. It's worth it, though. And, man, I just want to thank you so much for letting us have a place to, you know, just work on it and get it done. And
anytime.
It's worked out great. Jason also recently decided to help support this journey on Patreon, too, so he's a solid dude. And I hope we get to meet up later this week. We're going to try to do some fly fishing. He knows a lot of places here in, well, New Hampshire and in Vermont, so hopefully we do something there soon. Thanks for everything, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We'll be in touch.
Appreciate it. Yeah, nice to see you guys.
Yeah. I'm gonna end this video with some thank yous to new Patreon pledges who are helping to support this journey, making this whole thing possible. Hunter Van, Tom Grant, and Ben Croce. Hunter, Tom, and Ben, you guys, really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for supporting this journey and helping to keep us on the road.